somebody who was hugely popular and had all of the trappings of a successful sportsman.
The patient then uses the false self to garner and collect narcissistic supply from people around him. Attention, adulation, admiration, affirmation, applause, and even notoriety and infamy are forms of narcissistic supply.
Brian's false ego as an international jet-set tennis player took on a life of its own and soon gave Brian the confidence to meet girls.
A very important development in the Brian Blackwell case was that he met Amal, a girl at college. Now, there was some competition for Amal's affections, and Brian felt that he really needed to impress her. He told her that he would buy her a car, and he did so. In order to do this, he needed to access money, and he had no money of his own, so he used any means necessary.
Without his parents' knowledge, Brian emptied a trust fund to finance his make-believe celebrity lifestyle.
He also employed her as his secretary. Now, this was a fictitious position. She believed that he was sponsored by Nike and Fisher because he was a tennis player. Now, he had no such sponsorship. He wrote a very long document detailing Amal's duties as his personal secretary, and he even paid her a cheque for £39,000, which obviously bounced because he only had 9 pence in the bank.
The defining moment came when Brian invited Amal on holiday to the States to watch him play in a fictional tennis tournament. She agreed.
Now, eventually, he had to stand by his word and take Amal on holiday. And so I think it's significant that the death of his parents occurred the night before he was due to go away.
Secretly, using his father's credit card, Brian bought 2 plane tickets to New York over the internet. But after finding them, his parents decided to confront him.
Brian?
On this particular occasion, Brian says that he simply snapped.
Never criticize the narcissist.
Brian.
Never disagree with the narcissist.
Brian.
Never hint that the narcissist is powerless.
What this was all about.
That the narcissist is ignorant. That the narcissist is incapable of doing something.
He had been hanging pictures, so a hammer was nearby. Brian picked up the hammer and he attacked his father. He said that he just launched the hammer at his father's head. Now, it seems that his mother came into the room because she was aware of this melee, and she came armed with a knife. Brian says that he took the knife from her, hit her with the hammer also, and then he stabbed her. He stabbed her around the neck, the chest. He then returned to his father, and he stabbed him in the throat and in the chest. He stabbed him at least 23 times, and the force of the blows were quite phenomenal. In fact, his father's false teeth were knocked clean out of his mouth by one blow, which also fractured both sides of his jaw. He dragged his mother by her feet, very unceremoniously, into the bathroom. Now, I think it's interesting that his mother used to bath him. His mother used to bath him and had in fact bathed him the night before. So, in actual fact, he took her to the scene of his own humiliation.
Despite brutally murdering both his parents, Brian continued with his plans to take Amal on holiday to New York.
One of the most incredible features of this is that, having killed his parents, that within a very short period of time, he seems to have been able to switch off this awful event, meet up with his girlfriend, go on holiday, to the extent that he then spent almost 2 weeks with her, where she never suspected for a moment, apart from one incident she recalls that he seemed to be getting upset and went into the bathroom and came out minutes later and was fine. And he was able to put this whole horrific event, you know, to the back of his mind.
2 weeks later, Brian returned to the house.
He actually went back into the house to get something whilst his parents were there and then came out again. Now, at the time he did that, the parents must have been in an extremely advanced state of decomposition. And yet he was able to sort of deal with that, come away, and then carry on the facade. It was quite bizarre.
Finally, after 2 days of questioning, Brian confessed to killing his parents. His case made British legal history.
Narcissistic personality disorder was used for the first time successfully as a defence against murder in Brian's case. Brian was convicted of manslaughter and not the murder of his parents. The court accepted that his responsibility for his actions was diminished by the fact that he had a narcissistic personality disorder.
Although Brian Blackwell's charges were reduced, it seems unlikely that he will ever be released. He certainly cannot be interviewed. Actually talking to someone who suffers from all 9 traits of NPD, who wasn't a cult leader or already in prison, appeared to be an impossible task.
Narcissists never admit their faults. Narcissists never accept responsibility. It's not like the narcissist is likely to come forward and proudly say, I'm a narcissist, and it's not something to be proud of. And it's not something the narcissist admits to. No, forget this. It's very bad. Bloody hell. Just a second. These kids, shoot them?
However, sometimes the answer can be staring you right in the face.
Listen, if the answer is not what you expected, cut camera. I've repeated this 17 times. Cut.
There are 9 traits associated with narcissistic personality disorder: grandiosity, arrogance, a preoccupation with success, a lack of empathy, a belief of being unique, a sense of entitlement, requiring excessive admiration, exploiting others, and being envious of others. Until now, it seemed as though interviewing someone with all 9 traits wasn't realistic. By definition, it would make them an extremely dangerous individual. But after 2 days of interviewing the world's leading expert on NPD, it soon became clear why Dr. Sam Vaknin was such an authority on the subject.
I've been diagnosed with the narcissistic personality disorder, and therefore I'm a narcissist. And all the traits that I've enumerated before exist abundantly within me, I'm afraid.
We had finally found a level 9 narcissist. Sam is unique. He not only has all 9 traits, but he's been aware of his condition for over 20 years.
I'm a self-aware narcissist, which is a rarity. Most narcissists are not self-aware. They have no introspection. They don't have the ability to step aside and look at themselves and realize that they are the source of their own misfortunes, defeats, and troubles. But self-awareness is not like healing, is not the same as healing. If one is aware that one is a cocaine addict, that doesn't wean him off the drug.
In a drastic attempt to cure himself, Sam has lived in a self-imposed exile in Eastern Europe.
I was first diagnosed with the narcissistic personality disorder in 1984 or 5. My narcissism affected each and every field of my life. Cut. Let's start from the beginning.
Sam's authority on the subject is second to none, but filming a level 9 narcissist was never going to be easy.
I'm unable to sustain long-term relationship. I don't feel, I have no emotions that I'm aware of. Just a second, these kids shoot them? I don't know why people are not born adults. Absolutely unnecessary stage. I'm unable to work with other people in teams. I am unable to hold on to a job. Actually, I'm unable to sustain any kind of social interaction. No, forget this. It's very bad.
Really?
Cut. Beginning. And the result, of course, is that I am a social recluse. No, cut. I mean, we start again. Let's go on to the next questions. The thing I really miss, and that I would have liked to experience, is the ability to feel, the ability to emote, and the ability to relate to other people as full-fledged, three-dimensional individuals. That was so-so, but I hope it captured the spirit of it. I feel sad most of the time. I feel depressed most of the time. I wish I were different. I don't think, however, that this is possible. No, cut that. No, let's start again.
Although Sam admits his inability to have any type of emotion, he has a wife, Lydia, who chooses to stay with him, despite his condition.
Regardless of what people might think of us, Lydia and I are compatible, and to some extent I think we are happy.
Yeah. We exchange. He takes what he needs from me, I take what I need from him. My father was extreme narcissist, so I developed some senses how to cope with him, to be, you know, peaceful, to avoid shoutings, to avoid verbal, and to avoid physical abuse by his side.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, the noise is not... No, I mean, but the noise is not...
No, it's fine.
Right.
Why you are so aware of the environment? Why does it disturb you? Why does it disturb you?
I fully realize that if the kids scream or music starts...
Look, it's not your business. Someone else takes care about it, so enough.
But I'm not in control.
Yes, so no, you are too much
I must
of
be
a
in control.
You must have control of everything, so it's not that
I must direct Mark, directing me.
Yeah.
I need to be in absolute control. I need to be in absolute control of people. I need to be in absolute control of situations. I am a control freak. You are directing this film. I don't like that. I want to direct this film. You know, I'm the authority. I'm the supreme authority. I'm far superior to you. I'm omnipotent. I'm omniscient. You know, and you are challenging me not by doing anything. You know, you're a very nice guy, but you're challenging me by your mere existence and by your mere position. You know, you're telling me what to do. Because I need to be in control, and because I'm grandiose in my self-perception, I challenge authority all the time. And because I challenge authority unsuccessfully all the time, I rage.
Sam is able to offer a unique insight into why an extreme narcissist can suddenly rage uncontrollably, as Brian Blackwell's defense claimed that he'd done.
When I feel insulted or injured, I feel that I have been negated, that I've been annihilated. I feel that I'm dissolving into molecules. I feel that my very being, the core of my being, my essence, is being threatened directly. And I feel that I have to immediately restore balance by nothing less or nothing short of eliminating the source of frustration. It's not really vengefulness or vindictiveness. It's a desperate attempt to kill. Even the slightest hint of criticism or disagreement threatens the precarious balance that I've created over many years. The balance that constitutes my personality. You are out to destroy and kill me, so I'm out to destroy and kill you.
Dr. Sam Vaknin, Brian Blackwell, and cult leader David Berg are all extreme examples of narcissistic personality disorder. But can they be cured?
It's very difficult to cure personality disorder. Personality disorder, by its very definition, is an enduring and stable part of somebody's psychological makeup. But what you can do is that you can help people to control their traits.
Many therapists and mental health professionals will tell you that narcissism is treatable, that it can be either reversed or utterly cured, or at least some of the behaviors can be modified. And that is largely untrue. Narcissism is the narcissist's personality. You can't cure the narcissist because you can't take away his personality.
It's estimated that there are as many as 6 million people worldwide who may be suffering from varying degrees of NPD. But with such an underdiagnosed condition, that number could be far greater.
So it's very difficult to know who exactly has it, because by its very definition, if you are narcissistic, you think that you are better than other people, you're great, so you're not going to go to the doctor and complain.
What is certain is that those diagnosed with narcissistic personalities, in other words, true egomaniacs, satisfy their need by preying on others. And for that reason, they will never go hungry.
We are superior.